What's up, everybody? How are you all doing today? Yes, it is true. Your ears cannot believe it, but it is me. I am back with another Dota commentary. This is a Dota 2 commentary, my first ever Dota 2 solo cast. I am popping my cherry. Let's do this. I hope you're all honored and eager. Please be gentle as I take on this mighty Dota 2 cast. This is an all-pick remake from the joinDota Masters. Shout out to Toby and all the people at joinDota for putting on Spectacular Cup. This was from about 2 weeks ago, and this is a match between Orange on the Dire side and Absolute Legends, the Australian powerhouses, on the Radiant. No, not Sentinel and Scourge, guys. Don't get it twisted. It is, in fact, Radiant and Dire. I'm actually really excited. Dota 2 match, a professional Dota 2 match. One of the reasons why I sort of took a break is because there weren't many professional Dota 2 match replays, but now I have some. End of break. Let's do this. Time to get back motivated because guess what's coming up? That's right. Starting April 17th, the Premier League 2 is starting. The first 4 matches will be cast by Nebula and Luminous. Luminous is casting throughout the entire season. LD gets the next 4, and then I get the 4 after that. And one of the matches I have is Dare versus Nalia, so I'm really excited for that. I'm going to be casting around maybe the 23rd onwards for about 4 days of April. So be on the lookout for that. I'll make a post for that. Tri-lane mid is going well. We're doing a lot of stuff for that, so this is a perfect time to get back into Dota. So let's do this. I'm really, really excited that I'm punching my desk. It's actually really hurting my fist, even though I took karate. It's still not a thing that I'd advise you to do. It's not conducive to your long-term health and benefit. So while we are in this pause, let's talk about the players playing who's and what's it's and all of that. We have the Southeast Asian team, Orange on the Dire, KYX playing the Shadow Shaman, Batrider being played by winner. Yeah, Batrider! Dota 2! So glad the Southeast Asians are introducing Batrider and Asian scene in general, because I know DK in the joinDota Masters played Batrider too, so I'm really excited for this. Orange X is not Yamate. It would be Orange Y, but I think it's Orange Extinct playing the Enchantress, Mushi playing the Kunkka, and Ice playing the Crystal Main. How appropriate. Ice, Ice, baby. Let's do this. Meanwhile, on the Radiant side, we have Shaitan playing the Tidehunter, Snoopy playing the Vengeful Spirit, Godot on the Chen. He is very well known for Chen. There's actually an interesting statistic in regards to Chen that when Absolute Legends Godot plays him, they do supremely well. I think it's like an 80% win ratio. So, pretty surprised to see Orange not pick him up. But there was a recent interview with Orange. It says it's a little bit of a interesting text comment. Sorry, Justin's parents. I don't know who Justin is, but hopefully his parents will get too mad at him for playing Dota. Shh! If he keeps it down, maybe they won't notice. But I think Orange understands. So Australia Dota 2 is not really that popular at the moment. Absolute Legends is the only powerhouse team. But anyway, introducing us, Bleaky playing the Mirana and Musica playing the Beastmaster. His dad told him to pick Quap instead. Of course, his dad would like to see his son play an attractive female character to watch on stream. Dang. His dad must have some kinky side. Anyway, that was so sick. Look at... Are you seeing what I'm seeing on the screen? It's like a rainbow of X's. This is like amazing. Hopefully it doesn't continue for the rest of the game. Let's check out the skill build on the Kunkka if he went for X first. No, he went for Torrent. There's just X's surrounding this donkey. This is awesome. But hopefully it won't be too much. It's just a little replay glitch. But anyway, Absolute Legends is the Oceanic powerhouse. They are second in the Ghosted Gamer rankings, which isn't really too much to take stock in, but they're extremely powerful. And they constantly have to play on US West, US East servers in order to play European teams like Navi, Evil Geniuses, Dare, Moscow 5, etc., etc. So they're constantly playing on lag, and there's been some complaints by CLG, by Navi, by a lot of the European powerhouses. In fact, CLG Loda made a blog post saying that Absolute Legends is used to playing with delay, so they have an advantage. The Europeans play on, normally relatively stable pings because of their intercontinentalness. Snap, X's everywhere. But Absolute Legends, they are used to playing with an absurdly high ping, so there's a little bit of controversy surrounding that, but the joinDota Masters is a perfect tournament for Absolute Legends to go at their full power, because they are playing with on the Singapore server, I believe, and they're playing with minimal lag. This is their home server. They are taking on a Malaysian team, so both teams should have an even amount of lag. Meanwhile, taking on these lane matches, Shaitan and Snoopy and Goda are going to try lane top against the Batrider. Now, Batrider is a hero that is received a lot of attention in Dota 2. In terms of developers, not really in terms of picking. Europeans still are very unreceptive towards picking Batrider as in general. EG's played him a couple times, Demon's played a decent Batrider. I think he's won a couple games with him. But in general, Batrider is not really the greatest hero in this current metagame, which is heavily revolved around pushing. Batrider, he's an extremely powerful early mid-game presence. He doesn't really push that well. It looks like there's going to be an early gank out top. Snoopy comes in with the stun. They get it now off on Winter. Winter pops the Firefly. Can they bring him down? Oh, a couple more hits. Snoopy, unfortunately, does not pick up the last hits as the salve popped by Winter manages to save him as Batrider manages to live on, but he's going to have an abysmal time against this tri-lane up top, or dual lane with the jungler support of the Chen, and I mean, he has no wards protecting him. They are clearly not expecting this lane assignment, and Batrider without farm is not really that good because he shines hardest in the early mid-game, and the ideal goal is for Batrider, in the Asian scene anyway, to pick up a 12 to 13 minute blink dagger while all his opponents don't have their max solo nukes and just dominate the map from there. But Batrider can't do that when, you know, he's getting on, as looks like there's going to be a gank from behind the Ursa Furbolg being channeled by Orange Extinct. He's got KYX, so pops the Shackle Shot, gets the Ether Shock, and Ice picks up the kill. Probably going to pick up a Flying Courier. And looks like the X's are still maneuvering its way onto the Courier. It has bat wings. This is pretty awesome. As looks like Snoopy and Goda are going to come around for a gank on the backside, looking for some surprise rear end action. That was terrible. I'm sorry. Anyway, Mushi on the Kunkka. Kunkka has actually been seeing a little bit of play recently, but at this point in time, 2 weeks ago, Kunkka is still relatively new. And Orange has actually been picking him in Dota 1 as well to use him as a pusher because his Tidehunter scales quite well. His X is extremely conducive to chasing down extremely mobile heroes such as Qua Puck, and that are very popular in the Dota 1 metagame. And Orange has actually said they find it a bit difficult to transition constantly back from Dota 1 and Dota 2, so that might be the reason why they're underperforming. And looks like Ice and Orange X Extinct are going to support their Batrider buddy on the top lane because they know Batrider without farm is not really the strongest hero. Ideally, you want Batrider to go up against a soul lane, or he can handle himself pretty well against a dual lane as well. But against a tri-lane or a double dual lane with the jungler, he's not going to have a good time. When you solo a Batrider against a dual lane with the jungler, you're not going to have a good time. The ever-present South Park meme that's found on Reddit and all that. It's pretty funny. As looks like KYXI drops a Shackle Shot on Musica, just harassing him. Musica's at full mana, and he'll pop a salve. And meanwhile, KYXI picked up the bottle, and he's going to control the runes quite well, but keep in mind there's a Beastmaster. Nice ward by the Radiant. Going to see that. Redundant statement is redundant as Enchantress picks up a Troll Warlord. So, just judging by these lanes in the early game, I think now that Chen has moved back to the bottom jungle, he's going to be able to level unencumbered. Meanwhile, the dual jungle of Crystal Main Enchantress, they're going to level up quite fast, and getting a lot of experience on Crystal Main Enchantress is really crucial because in the mid to late game, they're not really too relevant. Enchantress, her impetus does still a lot of damage in the mid to late game, but at that point heroes are starting to tank up. They might pick up a Ghost Scepter and counteract that. And meanwhile, Chen, he's still pretty much relevant in the mid to late game. He sends people home with his Holy Persuasion, and he can get some stompy creeps, and he drops extremely powerful heal. And since there's no H-Snap version, heals will be extremely powerful in this game. Meanwhile, Mushi is coming around from the backside, a shockwave by that newly buffed Centaur, Satyr Hellcaller with the 600 mana, is going to be able to spam shockwaves over and over again, but Bleaky has been harassed so hard, picks up Ring of Protection, gonna no doubt go for that early Ring of Aquila, which is so popular on agility carries these days. Gonna give them mana regen, last hitting, it gives them anything you want it, that's the way you need it, as a Torrent X combination by Mushi, and that's the power of Kunkka, just able to demolish mobile heroes. But looks like Snoopy and Goda are not going to take this line down. They want revenge for their furry friend. Mushi takes the fall, Nicely played, nice counter ganking, and already a lot of action. And although Orange is the Southeast Asian teams, they play a little bit less crazy than some of the PNR teams. But I guess it's not really too much early action. There's just so much I want to talk about because there's no pick and ban phase. So I have to get all this out, information as fast as possible through your ears, through the microphone, into your ears. But right now, Orange, they're playing quite well. They're getting a lot of experience with their dual roamers. We can see that... Oops. My mistake a bit. As KYXI went for a gank on the top lane with the haste rune, he's going to give Beastmaster a lot of free farm. But Ice is level 2, so he's not dual jungling very effectively with this Orange X. Meanwhile, Venture Spirit and Chen are already level 4, and they're going to drop the wards on this top tower, trying to push it down as fast as possible. This is the power of the 6.74 metagame. Pushing is still king, and with Shadow Shaman being such a dominant force in the early mid game, he can hex, he can push, he can do everything. The only thing he can't do is file your tax returns, but I'm sure eventually, given the proper education, he can do that as well. As Ice drops a Crystal Nova, but that ain't icy enough to stop, to freeze over Tidehunter's water. But looks like there's going to be a TP, and this is quite daring by KYXY. But looks like the Roar is going to go down on Crystal Main. She's going to get completely obliterated by the Vengeful Spirit and the Chen. Hopefully the brightness level is tolerable to you guys, because my graphics card initially had a problem with Dota 2. It was not compatible with brightness settings, or you could not move the brightness slider. But with some console commands and stuff like that going inside the Dota 2 program is very, very good in terms of fixing it, even though it's still a beta. So I turned the brightness up a little bit. Hopefully it's tolerable for all of you. I just want to improve your viewing experience. And yeah, sorry I had to burp for a second, so that's a little bit of that awkward silence. But, oh man, Arcane Boots picking up on the Shadow Shaman already. Meanwhile, there's going to be a bit of lull in the action. Shaitan going for the very popular Anchor Smash build at this point. This is around the time 2 weeks ago where Anchor Smash being leveled up first is really seeing a lot of popularity, and who would blame you? Look at this. 4-second cooldown with a 60-second mana cost doing 225 damage. My god, that is ridiculous. And combined with the fact that Tidehunter has pretty good move speed. I think his base move speed is 310 without boots. I mean, 315 without boots. That is quite high. That is definitely above normal. So he's definitely going to be able to chase people down. And Gush, I mean, it doesn't scale in terms of slow. So, I mean, why wouldn't you just level up Anchor Smash? If you're a good chaser, you have high movement speed. And Gush, I mean, it'll cost mana in order to spam it. 120. Meanwhile, you can spam 2 Anchor Smashes for that. It looks like KYXY has been in a lot of trouble. The boat is dropped. A ward is being dropped. And unfortunately, no ward trap. And looks like Shaitan picks up a kill. Nicely done with that Anchor Smash. And Mush is going to go for the blood on Shaitan. Shaitan is definitely going to go down, but he drops the Gush, and he takes the fall instead. Looks like the chase is on. They're going to try to get the courier 150 gold, but Batrider comes in with a good dot, and he's going to drop a Firefly, and this is when Batrider shines in these early engagements, but unfortunately he's not very tank at all. He's clearly trying to rush that fast blink dagger. He's 1400 gold, but he has no tank items, and in early mid-game when Batrider has no items, oh, Snoopy, don't die, man! Snoopy ain't gonna die, but he might get die. Oh, Snoopy, you are caught between a rock and a hard place as the Centaur is not merciful whatsoever. 5-4, and you can see the problem when you rush Batrider, Blink Dagger. He's extremely powerful in small engagements, but in large engagements without any tank items, he's not really that powerful. I mean, his Firefly does a lot of damage, but if you focus him, he can back off. He's an intelligence hero with reasonable HP, but he has not the highest armor, so he can be brought down quite quickly. But you can see Batrider, I mean, 1500 gold, going to go for a very fast Blink Dagger, and he's going to be able to pick it up by the 12 to 13 minute mark. But I think the Absolute Legend supports have been doing a good job in terms of leveling. I mean, they're clearly out-leveling the Orange supports, which is extremely crucial. Getting a high level of Chen and Vengeful Spirit is going to be extremely conducive. This is why I love Batrider. He has, like, the best voice actor lines in Dota 2. He's just like a deranged cowboy, as he manages to pick up a kill on the bot lane. My bad for missing that, but, I mean, come on, I just got back, guys. And I'm only missed 1 kill. Dang, I am good. Snoopy gonna try to reach that crucial level 6, and meanwhile, Crystal Main and Enchantress is trying to pick up some of those levels in the top jungle, but Crystal Main's just sort of roaming, not gonna do too much of anything. Level 3. like not even halfway towards level 4. So she picked up the boots, but I mean, without many levels, Crystal Main is just going to become more and more useless as time goes on. And this is why I sometimes hate playing Crystal Main. She is just not very fun for me to play, because she's not a spammable spell. Or not spammable spellcaster, but she's extremely powerful. In the right hands, it's absolute legend. Musica is going to come in with a nice roar, and they're going to drop everything to get Mushi. Mushi dies from one last thwack of the axes by Musica. Ice dodges the arrow barely, gets a salve cancelled, but she is slow as heck. The ice is going to freeze over, holding her to the ground because she is a Crystal Main, not because she casted Frostbite on herself or anything like that. Terrible joke by myself, but I'm sure you all are accustomed to hearing that nonetheless. Meanwhile, Goda is coming in with the Smoke of Sea as Absolute Legends going to go for a push. So this is the power of Absolute Legends. They are extremely powerful when they're all grouped as 5. They team fight exceptionally. That's sort of one of their main strengths. They just team fight. They have extremely powerful communication. They are very, very deadly. And Batrider, he's going to come in, drop the Blink Dagger. He's going to try to pick up Shaitan, but Shaitan has the Ravage. He's just going to drop it when he gets in position. And there goes Ravage. Terrible mistake by Winter, in my opinion, just dragging the Tidehunter one more attack. Oh, the Tidehunter is not even going to die. Batrider is going to try to stack on Napalms as well. Nice Torrent combined with the Enchantress, and they pick up a kill on the retreating Beastmaster, and Vengeful Spirit dies as well, and the tower remains standing. Nice defense by Orange, even though they start off with a horrible initiation. Batrider with the early Blink Dagger blinked in on the Tidehunter, but Tidehunter is already level 6, and I think as time goes on, the Crystal Main in level 3 Crystal Main, I mean, Enchantress has picked up the slack a little bit, but seriously, level 3 Crystal Main, 11 minutes in the game where supports are so powerful in this type of metagame because they get powerful so very fast. As Shaitan is caught in the shackle in a hard place, is going to die from the impetus damage by the Enchantress, and meanwhile Chen is forced to back away. Oh, a swap on Extinct! Gonna try to get both heroes. Very, very ambitious, as it looks like Chen is gonna pay the price, but Musica manages to come in with a nice teleport, as Batrider is gonna come in with the Firefly, and the X is gonna mark the spot on Musica's head. They're gonna try to pick off Musica. They're definitely gonna pick him. Batrider stacking napalms left and right. Oh, Musica 3 stacks on the napalm, and the arrow by Bleaky. What an arrow by Bleaky. The power of Absolute Legends. Communication, just being in the right place in the right time, is able to overcome the unfavorable matchup. I mean, Batrider had 3 stacks on Musica. Musica was definitely going to die, but instead, one arrow by Bleaky, going to pick up the kill. Meanwhile, Crystal Maiden's like, I want an experience too, guys. Picks up level 5, going to go for Frost Nova, or Crystal Nova, my bad. Gonna get used to. I'm used to saying Radiant Dire already, but the skill names, like, what is this stuff? Starstorm? It's Starfall. As KYXY is, Now, if I was in KYXY's shoes, I'd try to go for actually a fast BKB would not really do too much because there's a swap, there's a roar, and you can send people home with the Chen, so maybe he's going to try to go for Blink Dagger, but Absolute Legends is extremely powerful in terms of counter ganking, playing in teamfight, so I don't expect all these solo ganks to go according to plan for KYXY Winter and his crew, but in terms of overall team composition and the late game, I think probably Mirana is probably the hardest late game carry, quote unquote hardest late game carry. I make the little air quotes with my hands, which of course you can't see, but she's probably the hardest late game carry. But in terms of overall mid game team fight, I think Orange is going to do quite well, especially with Crystal Main picking up some levels. I mean, Shadow Shaman, Beast, Batrider, Beast, Kunkka, Beast, if he lands the boat. One of the problems why Kunkka is not seeing very much viability, but he's starting to peak in a little bit of popularity. This is Kunkka's time to shine, is that his skills are just extremely hard to land. I mean, you can sort of place your torrents, and it's not like a soul catcher where you can say, oh, a good player will land the soul catcher 95% of the time. As a scouting arrow manages to hit Mushi. A good player is going to predict where the torrents go, but the good player will then predict where the torrent is going to be casted and then go the other way. So you have to do like 2 2 or 3 steps of prediction or predicting, and then there's some mind games. You can just do the dumb route if you're going to be torrented, and just go straight ahead while he predicts where you might be going. So it's just very, very odd in terms of winning the torrent. Of course, X makes it a lot easier. And in terms of catching the Mirana and stuff like that, as he drops an X on Mirana, she's going to get TP'd out, but that might just actually be a bait. Going to do a lot of damage to Bleaky, but that's it. But meanwhile, Tidehunter and Beastmaster, this is, again, the power of absolute legends in terms of counter-ganking. Batrider, I think, went in for the blink, and Enchantress tried to help. But meanwhile, they just go, hey, we're going to back up Snoopy, drop a Ravage, drop a Roar, and kill all y'all. But again, the boat is so hard to hit everybody in a team fight. That's why you need sort of another AoE ultimate to set up the boat, because otherwise no team is ever going to be hit by that, and the only thing it'll do to you is give your teammates the movement speed and give you some damage reduction for a short period of time. And meanwhile, even though Ravage is down, the Chen creeps the numerical advantage. The pretty buff Tidehunter, this is quite fat in terms of Tidehunters. I mean, Tidehunter, he's not really fat, he's more big boned than anything. As looks like the arrow is going to try to hit Mushi. Mushi backs off. The lasso is on cooldown, and Batrider, he picked up an early blink dagger, but the Absolute Legends is clearly exploiting that to the maximum. He hasn't picked up any tank items, and right now he's just going to be bursted down every time he initiates. You know, the Wild King creeps just doing so annoying damage with the Tornado. The Tornado is extremely buffed in Dota 2. Look how fast it moves, and it always seems like it has a larger AoE than it does. But in general, it seems to always move faster. And again, some of the reasons why Batrider seems nerfed in Dota 2 is that the turn rates are a lot different, among with other different things, as they catch a lasso on Snoopy, nicely identified, as they're going to pick off Snoopy relatively easily, but they did lose the top tower for that. And meanwhile, not as much experience being gained overall because that was a 5-man gank. And Mushi's going to teleport back and farm bottom. Now Kunkka these days, they like to go... Kunkka these days, what am I talking about? Kunkka in general is not seeing much play, but when he does, they sometimes like to go drums and then probably pick up a Lothar's Edge or BKB or whatever he wants. I mean, I know Kunkka's been seeing a little bit of play in terms of Dota 1 as well as Dota 2, but I have not been watching him. What is KYXY doing? He drops the bow. The bow only hits Musica as Chen Ultimate is dropped, healing everybody, and that's it. Wards and a boat dropped for a Ravage. No, Ravage was not even used for a Hand of God, and that's it. And looks like Musica is might just die, but Ice is gonna be a little bit too slow. Sentry Ward being dropped as well. They're gonna try to get the blink in by KYXY, but Ice is gonna... yeah, he is going to take the fall, and now Shaitan is in a lot of trouble. He's being hexed, but he is so tanky. He has the cloak, he has the urn, he has maxed out Kraken Shell, which is a lot of damage reduction, and now Absolute Legends is just taking advantage of Orange's over-aggressive nature, just counter-ganking to the maximum effect, taking advantage that there's no Batrider there. You don't have your most powerful damaging mid-game hero there. You already used your wards, you already used your boat, so what else are you going to do? And really, what can they do except die? Which is exactly what Absolute Legends is going to do them, and with that they're going to be able to pick up a tower relatively easily, and Orange is caught on the back foot a little bit. Meanwhile, Barrett has only been able to pick up a magic wand. He's probably going to go try to get a Planeswalker cloak, stuff like that, and make him a little bit more tanky, but the common Chinese build is to go for a fast BKB, but in this case BKB, I guess if you can stack it with the Shadow Shaman, it wouldn't be the worst choice, but there are anti-BKB measures. They have the Vengeful Spirit swap to swap the person out of the lasso, or swap the Batrider back into the battle, or you can roar the Batrider, you can Moonlight Shadow, try to run away, or try to follow up the Batrider for a sneaky initiation. You can send the Batrider's target back home with Chen. So there's a lot of innate Batrider counters here. Meanwhile, Mushi has 2,200 gold. I'm going to be very interested to see what he picks up now. I think he'd probably try to go for some damage. I've seen some Kunkkas just rush straight Crystallis and hope for a very lucky crit, because that crit combined with the Tidebringer Splash, it's pretty ridiculous, but you are sort of have to get a little bit lucky there. As Shaitan is going to farm up. Look how strong this Tidehunter is. Level 11, level 2 Ravage, level 1 Gush. And I think people are starting to realize Dota, you don't have to do the same thing over and over again. Just change it up. And we're seeing that with the Tidehunter. a very powerful pick who very powerful hick. Sorry, Tidehunter, I didn't mean it. You know I still love you, man. But anyway, Tidehunter, a very powerful pick who sort of died down in the past 2 or 3 months. I mean, in the first early months of Dota, he was constantly perma-picked and perma-banned, but then he sort of faded out a bit as the pushing power of Dota 2 started to kick into full force. But then people are experimenting, and now they realize the power of Anchor Smash. You can cast it up many more times, and if you level Tidehunter Extreme, he has very high natural strength growth, 3.0 per level. It's extremely tanky, and if you get in the middle of everything, Anchor Smash, 225 AoE damage in a 400 radius is pretty ridiculous if you can get to spam it over and over again. So I really like seeing the experimental styles of Dota being explored to the fullest. Really shows a lot of innovation by the teams, and it's very volatile, to be quite honest, as it looks like the all-out healer being casted just to save the mana, but the Blink in Shadow Shaman and Batrider, as the wards are dropped as well, probably to keep from Mirana from leaping out, but that might have been a little bit excessive. Now without those wards, it's going to be very difficult to push, especially against a level 11 Tidehunter with an extremely powerful Ravage. And one thing people might not know about Tidehunter is that the stun duration... Oh, they fixed it in Dota 2, but there is like a 0.52 duration where they're popped up in the air. I think in Dota 1 it's like 1.5 seconds for the first level stun, but here in Dota 2 you can actually see that's 2.02 because there's 0.5 seconds where they just leap up in the air. As the new targeted flame break in the AoE, extremely powerful, is going to do some damage, but without any napalm stacks it doesn't really do too much. Early pipe picked up by Musica, and Absolute Legends is just playing this according to however they want. They just are taking advantage of the fact that they're very tanky, and Dire is not at the moment. And without the wards, without all the factors going in Orange's favor, there's not really too much that Orange can do in terms of taking a team fight. And looks like Absolute Legends, they're doing a Roshan bait. Very, very curious. I think they're trying to make it seem like, oh, hey guys, we're Roshan, come visit us. It's going to be a party up in here. But Orange, they're not taking the bait, even though they sort of realize, oh, everybody's missing. As looks like the Roar is going to be popped on Extinct. He is definitely going to fall. Is going to drop the heal, but just is going to waste the cooldown. And it's a 45-second cooldown, so it will be back by the time she goes up. But not the exact moment. And with that Enchantress kill, they're going to go for Roshan now. They drop the Roar, but Roar, such a spammable ultimate. It is one of the best ultimates in the game. But of course, not one of the top 5 best ultimates, according to Dota commentary's tier list, which the top 5 for that should be up very soon, whenever Luminous feels like doing that. But Luminous is doing other stuff like TPL2 and, you know, saving the world, just being Jesus in general. Luminous is Jesus, and we are all his faithful disciples, as looks like the Torrent managed to hit. Ravage drops on 2 or 3 heroes, but none of his teammates are in position, so that Ravage might be a little bit of a mistake, as Winter picks in the Aegis. A huge play by Winter, as the Aegis being channeled, as KYXY is going to drop the ultimate on Godot. Godot finally drops the heal, as Vengeful Spirit managed to pick up Kunkka. Completely unexpected. So even though the Aegis snipe was taken by Winter, curiously, Orange is going to be the one to lose the team fight. It's very unexpected, as Ice is going to pick up a kill, or Ice is going to fall as well. And this high-level Vengeful Spirit is just doing so much for casting yet another Magic Missile. And this bottom, oh, the Starstorm completely whiffs, so they're going to not pick up X. But that did not go at all the way I expected. When I saw Tidehunter Ravage be dropped on 2 or 3 heroes, but none of his teammates are in position to follow up for mass burst damage and just pick off the heroes in order to be targeted, as looks like KYXI is just going to TP out. But they're going to lose the top tower as well because Mushi is fallen and there's no wards. Or maybe they can take the fight, especially with the Batrider Aegis. But even though Batrider picked up the Aegis again, the overall positioning by Absolute Legends, they've managed to recuperate up and pick up a kill, as looks like the arrow is going to whiff as Batrider blinks in, trying to get Musica for the Roar, because Roar is in fact up there trying to disable that, but Roar is going to be dropped on Mushi. Mushi is going to be taking out the fight for so long. The Aegis is popped on the Batrider. Citan coming in, doing so much damage. Those Anchor Smashes, one more kill being dropped as he is on a killing spree. Citan just doing so much work with this Tidehunter, and Batrider pops up with the Aegis once again, and Orange is going to do a successful successful team fight. They lost the tier 2 tower, but they're going to pick up a lot of kills in exchange. They're going to be able to pick up Musica one more time because of all the napalm stacks, the nice positioning by the flame break in order to push. He targeted it here, push the Beastmaster back through here. Nicely placed by Winter, but they did rely on the fact no Ravage, keep in mind, during that fight, and Aegis was lost on the Batrider. So Absolute Legends, they picked up a tier 2 tower nonetheless, and they're keeping down the primary farmer, Kunkka. In this case, he has the Shadow Blade, going to do for a lot of burst damage when he pops out of the Windwalk. But aside from that, I think once they realize he has a Shadow Blade, we're going to see a lot of dust being picked up. Let's just check out the overall item inventory. And guys, just sort of slappy right now because I've forgotten one of the main features of Dota 2, why its replay system is so godlike. Total gold earned, hugely favoring the rating, although KYXY and Mushi doing quite well. But you can see Crystal Main severely underfarmed, Extinct severely underfarmed. Experience Graft hugely favoring the rating as well, and in these early mid-game team fights, that's all the difference in the world. I mean, look, the experience gap decreased a lot because of that successful team fight 1, but the gold graph is going to be most telling. And you can see that it's around 5k, and in terms of early to mid-game team fights, this is quite crucial. I think Absolute Legends have the benefit from taking the Roshan, but they did lose Aegis as a blink in by the Beastmaster, gonna catch Mushi off, but he pops the Lothars, and then now the game is up. Because they don't have dust. But now they know. And knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe, a real American hero. America. Anyway, Shaitan just doing so much work. Picks up Oblivion Staff, Perseverance, yes! Yes! You know what time it is, guys. Let's just check out his gold really fast. Shaitan, 1400 gold, 475 gold away from that crucial refresher orb. Wards dropped once again, and they should just let Shaitan farm these wards, guys. One gives refresher. There's nothing scarier than a Tidehunter with refresher orb. Literally nothing. I can't think of anything as scary, except a Tidehunter with refresher Shivas. I mean, even a refresher like Black Hole is not as big as refresher Ravage, in my opinion. Because Ravage is just so... You don't even have to think when you pop a Ravage. You just go in, do what you want. And I think they're taking advantage of the fact most of the time when Tidehunter is this rich, he picks up a Blink Dagger. But in this case, with the semi-carry Tidehunter, he's getting a lot more farm than needed. And he's a lot more tank innately. He has a high strength growth, he has the cloak, he has a magic wand, he has the strength from the urn. And they're also taking advantage of the fact that, okay, Orange, they want to initiate on us. So they have the Blink Dagger Shadow Shaman, Blink Dagger Batrider, and just a lot of burst damage potential right off the bat. So we don't even need to wait for us to blink in. They can blink in on us. We can swap out whoever they initiate on and just take it from there. As Winter taking so much damage, a huge mistake by Winter, as the bow is going to hit a couple people, but without Winter, I don't see any possible way for Orange to win this team fight. He's the most highly leveled hero on our team. Ravage was popped a little bit curiously, but the Refresher Orb is going to be incoming extremely shortly. Yeah, Refresher Orb. Pops the Refresher Orb, and you can see it has pretty good synergy. 150-second cooldown. 160-second cooldown. It's always fun to get Refresher Warlock because both of the ultimate cooldowns and the Refresher Orb cooldowns are the same, so you can literally drop 4 golems anytime you want. And with the Refresher Orb, they're just going to beef their way through. No Batrider, no boat. It was popped. The wards haven't been popped, but the Ravage is dropped once again. Musica drops a huge roar on Mushi. Mushi dies once more, and Orange KYXI is going to be in a lot of trouble. He's going to try to blink out, but he gets swapped. Nice timing by Snoopy, trying to bait out the blink. And in fact, he played KYXY to the maximum, swapping back in. Batrider is back, but can't do none against a farmed Tidehunter. Shaitan showing the world how to play Tidehunter, and I think this was at the moment where, I don't know, I think teams were experimenting with this Tidehunter build, maxing Air Smash with 1 level Gush, but I don't know if many teams watch this, because now it is extremely common to solo the Tidehunter, go for carry, and max Anchor Smash by 7, and now you can see why it is so powerful getting a highly leveled Tidehunter in comparison to other heroes. as he is just doing so much work. Meanwhile, looks like their Orange is trying to do whatever they want, but they are a little bit out of their element. Winter gets completely opened up right there. And the Kunkka surprise pick did not work out whatsoever. Kunkka did not have a noticeable impact at all. I mean, in order to take advantage of the boat, you need to have something else there to help set it up. Otherwise, it's just way too difficult to land. And its only benefit is that it's a short cooldown, and the boat is going to hit again, and it's going to be able to be brought up in the next team fight as well, as the arrow hits on KYXY, but Bleaky, extremely far, Manta-style Demon Edge, doing so much damage, is just going to back up, as Godot is probably going to take the fall. But even him, he is so tanky as well. He has a mechanism, double bracers, but he's going to be the next one to fall. Oh, Moonlight Shadow going to be dropped. Sentry Ward on the Crystal Main. They are going to pop him, and Godot unfortunately turns around. Is that his Sentry Ward? No, they just dropped 2 Sentry Wards. Just say, we can kill you twice over, that's how much we don't care about you. But even still, Orange is in a lot of trouble. Have I had on 0.5 speed this whole time? I don't feel like it. No, it's the same speed. Huh. It was interesting, because Dota 2 had it on 0.5 this whole time for the replay speed. Oh, now it's definitely at 0.5 speed, you can definitely see. But anyway, a little bit unused to the Dota 2 replay bar system. But hopefully I will be better in this practice. I'm going to be casting quite a bit for the Premier League too, and I'm really looking forward to that. I know I've been saying this a lot, but expect more. But now you can actually see that I'm gonna follow through with it now with this opening cast, and expect more. Just keep expecting more, keep reminding me, you are what keeps me going, and this is proof of that, as it has been a while. Hopefully I've been too rusty, but I don't think I've been, as entertaining as I usually am. I'm just sort of like babbling on and on about what's happening in the game, why is this happening, what's happening to me guys, can't control it. And then you realize, oh, yeah, see, I don't even know what to say after that. I've just sort of painted myself in a corner completely. But anyway, it looks like Absolute Legends on the back of the double Ravage. This is so beast. Oh man. I mean, just look at the hero kill score. Snoopy is 11-5, completely unexpected. But Snoopy's been doing work as well. As Winter, Batrider, I don't think this is the best lineup to pick against. You can certainly see he's extremely viable. He's extremely viable, guys. Pick him up. I'm really glad to see the Chinese and the Southeast Asians take Dota 2 more seriously, because we can see different picks. Because I think when Brewmaster is introduced, or whenever that happens, I don't expect the Europeans to jump on him immediately right off the bat, but I definitely expect to see the Southeast Asians and the Chinese, and Chaos Knight, I expect to see them jump on that train as well. And what did Snoopy get with all this gold? He is a dutiful support. He is not like a Luminous Crystal Main. He is going to get... Well, Luminous Crystal Man gets wards and 4 staff, but 4 staff worst time in the game anyway, as you all know. Arrow gonna fly out, just scouting around, sees that ice. You ain't got nothing. You do have 2 bracers, as the Batrider blinks in, trying to go for the Marana, but the Vengeful Spirit Swap just does so much work. And Chitan drops the Ravage, pops, gonna pop the Magic Wand, drop another Ravage, and GG team fight. Oh my god, double Ravage. I wish you could get to your refresher orb so I can just start to say, it's starting to look like a triple Ravage. But unfortunately that will never happen. GG's called all around, as this round of the joinDota Masters is over. And I don't think I have no more games for the joinDota Masters, but so I can just tell you, this was the Asian region, and I think Absolute Legends took it over everybody, beating MUFC in the finals. So, yeah. I think DK was in the same group, so Absolute Legends showing that without lag, they're extremely fearsome, one of the most fearsome teams in existence. And even when they play against lag, like against Europeans, they're still one of the most fearsome teams in existence. Where's the hero score screen? Let's go, Valve. Pop up that hero score screen. Dr. by Godot. Oh man, glad to see that these teams have sensitive humor. Clearly just all in good fun. As you can see, these last hits was not any sort of battle. I mean, Marana CJ had the least impact for the team, even though she had the most last hits for her team. Tidehunter had a pretty good amount of last hits, but he definitely was the catalyst in terms of bringing the victory to the team. Kunkka had so many last hits, but he definitely had, next to Crystal Man, he had the least impact in the game, in my opinion. This is just not a good Kunkka lineup in order to support him. I think you need AoE to help support him. You need, yeah, any AoE stun, I think, and Kunkka can just do work. Or if you want to go for that heavy pushing, I think they could have gotten it much earlier. But against a Chen, against a Beastmaster, against an Anchor Smash Tidehunter, as ridiculous as it sounds, you saw the power of Anchor Smash Tidehunter doing so much work. So Kunkka could not be exploited to its full potential, and even this lineup was not the best for Batrider, but I can see he still did a lot of work for his team. So hopefully we'll see picks like these become more and more standard. Dota 2 is so very volatile at the moment because of things. I mean, like literally a month and a half ago, we saw Tiny picked in every game, and that was the era of Night Stalker, stuff like that. But right now, no Tinies, barely any Night Stalkers, and now Leshrac is the new hot pick, so really, really volatile metagame, and hopefully we'll see this for many games to come. So thank you all for watching. Be on the lookout for more games in the future. The Premier League 2 starting out April 17th. Check it out on DotaCommentaries.com. I think we're switched to Daily Motion. So yeah, in terms of the stream provider, not really the best in terms of esports provider, but we're really excited to work with them, and hopefully we'll make it. And we're really going to try to bring it extremely professional out. You will be blown away. You'll be fucking blown away by professionalism. God damn. But yeah, so be on the lookout for that. Be on the lookout for Nebula. Be on the lookout for LD. Be on the lookout for Luminous. Be on the lookout for me. Thank you all for watching, and have a fantastic night.